Hello everyone and welcome to my easy to understand guide to Thiiird magazine and media language. This video is going to be particularly relevant for you if you are studying Eduqas A-level media studies, as it currently appears as one of the optional set texts on component 2. It's a set text for the online media part of the component 2, so you need to study its website pages. Now obviously I will have looked at the website on completely different days than you. It doesn't matter if your examples are a bit different to mine, but as long as you have got examples to back up your points, that's the most important thing.
The masthead and the title of the magazine and the website is Thiiird, and you have to look at the connotations of this word and the choice of how they spell it. It's open to interpretation as to what this might mean. Possible connotation is the idea of third kid culture. We often think of parents' culture as being the first culture of a family. And then, for example, if those parents decide to migrate to another country, the country they migrate to and where they have their children has their own culture too. That's the second culture. The third kid culture is the environment and the experiences and the unique culture that is had by the children of those parents that grow up in this new environment. And the magazine does feature a lot of stories about immigrants, people who've moved from other countries to different countries and different cultures. Another interpretation is within the Hindu religion, the third eye being something like an inner consciousness, the idea that it allows you to look inside yourself and to see higher things, to see things that are more important. And perhaps the magazine is trying to insinuate that they are going to show us things in life that are more important. They obviously spell the word third with 3 I's, and perhaps this is to try and reinforce that meaning. However, the 3 I's also appear as Roman numerals, which has connotations of being educational, classical, traditional. Roman culture was often thought to be the heart of democracy and modernism at the time, and quite progressive. And so perhaps they're trying to link their brand to something that is both educational and cultural, but also democratic.
If you have a look at the homepage and indeed a lot of the pages of Thiiird magazine, there's lots of large images and small amounts of writing, particularly in the thumbnails on the homepage. A small amount of writing makes this website feel accessible and easy to read. And the images make it feel artistic and creative and appeal to those people who really enjoy visual media. In the articles themselves, the writing is obviously a lot longer, and this is more conventional. Those thumbnails are designed to act as a kind of clickbait to get readers to want to click on and read further parts of the website. The typography used across most of the website is what we call sans serif, which means it's fairly simplistic, it's quite bold as well, and this makes it really easy to read and feels quite modern. The use of coloured block graphics help to make the website feel kind of quite exciting, quite entertaining, quite artistic. Again, it helps to make it feel very easy to read. And the use of the kind of rainbow of colours within these graphics adds to this feeling of the kind of pride flag, which may help to add to the themes of LGBTQ+ inclusiveness. The images they use on the website are really quite stylized for the most part. So lots of kind of crazy hair and makeup and costumes posed in studios with really nice artistic lighting. It feels like a really kind of high fashion magazine. It adds to this feeling that the magazine and the website are going to be very focused on fashion. It's very bold and artistic and engaging. There is some elements of realism in the magazine, although a lot of the images and articles are very stylized, very high fashion, or often quite surreal. There are some elements that feel much more grounded in reality, images that feel like they were kind of just taken on the fly without being posed. They're often black and white, or they feel as though they were taken in realistic locations as opposed to studios. So there's definitely some elements of realism on the website. And the people within these images are very diverse as well, and that's going to help to add to the theme of diversity, the values and ideologies of the website being very inclusive. Although most websites have a huge amount of embedded video and audio content, there's not a massive amount of this on Thiiird website. And this might link to the fact that it is primarily a website for a print magazine. So the focus is on copy and written word. However, they do use a lot of hyperlinks to other websites, linking the audience to a variety of relevant and appropriate content from other sites. And this reflects the hypermodality of websites, where they are often connected to a huge range of other sites online. If you look at individual pages of the website, it's a little bit like a magazine or a newspaper, where we have what's called above the fold and below the fold. Above the fold is the section of the website that you see first when you open the page. And the idea is that that's got to be the most eye-catching. It's got to have the boldest images, the biggest headlines, because that's what's going to make you want to scroll down and read the rest of the article, which is often a little bit more simplistic. They use a variety of colloquial languages within the articles that would perhaps engage a modern audience, a diverse audience, a reasonably young audience as well. They also use quite a lot of culturally specific language, so cultural codes that perhaps only certain audiences would understand. For example, when I looked, they spelled the word work, W-E-R-K, which might kind of particularly appeal to younger audiences who are aware of other slang words. So these cultural codes are designed to draw in particular audiences, whether that's women, whether that's ethnic minorities, whether that's LGBTQ plus communities. If you have a look at the article headlines, the thumbnails on the homepage, a lot of the headlines and the writing are designed to feel very enigmatic. Lots of use of enigma codes that feel mysterious, that make us want to click on them. It's why clickbait works. You know, the use of images combined with the words makes us feel like we must click on this article to find out what it's about. If you have a look at the types of binary opposition on the website as well, there's a lot on there that helps to create this feeling of conflict and drama. And binary oppositions are always supposed to make the audience feel as though we are positioning ourselves with one of those things within the binary opposites. So for example, the website itself has a lot of articles that are about for example, the website has a lot of articles about multiculturalism, which position us in opposition to society, which is often quite ethnocentric. And so the audiences are supposed to kind of empathise and position themselves with this more multicultural ideology. The articles are often about acceptance versus discrimination, whereas the vast majority of media products, particularly within our culture, are heteronormative in style. This particular website has a lot of articles that have a more kind of queer or LGBTQ plus positioning. So it's kind of positioned in opposition to those heteronormative mainstream products. This magazine website offers audiences a sense of belonging versus that sense of isolation they might feel elsewhere. And the website obviously has a feeling of being alternative in opposition to the mainstream. This website also has a real feeling of globalization, lots of global culture and mentions of different cultures, different countries, different nationalities, different ethnicities, in opposition to a more kind of Western, ethnocentric ideology that is presented in a lot of other media products. And actually, if you think about it in terms of gender, a lot of other media products will present gender in a binary opposition style. So you're either male or masculine or female or feminine. Whereas actually this magazine blurs those boundaries and doesn't present gender in a binary opposition way. It presents it in more of a diverse, non-binary fashion. So that was my very easy, simple to understand guide to the Thiiird magazine website and media language. Don't forget to check out the rest of my videos for other content relevant to you, including about Thiiird magazine. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button to keep in contact with any other videos coming out for you that are going to be relevant in the future.